So for this tutorial, you'd be needing fusible fleece, which looks like a thick felt material, something like this. And you would be needing interfacing, which is craft fuse, which you can get from truly any craft supply store. Plus you would need an 11-inch zipper, an exterior fabric for the tab, as well as a lining fabric. So this is what I'm going to be using for this tutorial. So on your Cricut design space, open up your project and just click on Make It. So this is the screen that you'll end up. If you have a marker, just make sure this is selected, and if you don't, just switch this thing off, because I don't have a marker and I'm just gonna screw the marking part. Okay, now we need to purchase this thing, so go ahead and click on purchase. Get a Cricut Access discount at 10% off. Enter your Cricut ID to authorize purchase and just click on authorize. Alright, now I have purchased the thing. Now I can continue. So based on the instructions given, the first mat should contain your fusible web interfacing and fusible fleece, and you do not need marking pens for that. I'm not using it either ways. Alright, so just go ahead and click on continue. So connect your machine. Make sure your machine is switched on and connect it to your PC. For felt, select medium weight fabric. Make sure your rotary blade is in the clamp. Mine is already there. So I'm just gonna place the fabric on the mat and load it. So now, first of all, place the fusible fleece on the mat so that the longer side is along the longer edge, and just use your fingers to spread the whole thing if you don't have a brayer tool, just like me. And try not to touch the adhesive part of the mat as much as possible. And it's really gonna help if you have like 3 to 4 mats and you can just prepare them together and just load them together instead of cutting and then loading and cutting and then loading. So and also make sure that the fusible side of your fleece is facing up, like you can see over here. Now I'm just gonna load this thing onto my Cricut machine. And if you don't have a rotary blade installed, go ahead and do that first. Mine is already in place. Just click on the arrow button to load the mat inside. And once you're ready, just press the C, cute little C over here. How beautiful is that, girls? All done. Now we're gonna move to the next fabric, which is our interfacing. Once your fleece is cut out, you're gonna load the fusible interfacing the similar way. Just make sure the adhesive side, the side with shiny material, is up. Avoid wrinkles as much as possible, and just load the mat in the machine. So once you have cut out all your fabric, it's very important how you take care of your mat, and to make sure that your mat does not run out real fast. Always cover it with the plastic that it came with to avoid dust falling on the adhesive side. This will increase the lifespan of your mat, and you can save a lot of dough by not purchasing a lot of mats. To start off, you need to first fuse your fleece and your interfacing to their respective pieces. So the interfacing goes onto the lining fabric. So this is my lining fabric and it's already fused to the interfacing. Then we have our exterior fabric, which is fused to the fleece. So here you can see everything is fused together. Now we're gonna move to the first step of sewing, which is to sew this card pocket. So this step is pretty simple. All you gotta do is fold the pocket in half, so right sides together. So this is the right side, is going inside. Just fold in half and sew all along the 3 edges, leaving a small gap at the top to turn the right side out. So, and we're gonna use a seam allowance of 1/4 of an inch. So once done, just clip the corners like this and just turn the right side out from the space that you left behind earlier, which is this gap over here. Just turn everything right side out. Both the corners so that they're nice and sharp. Now you can go ahead and press the seams flat, and then we're gonna move to the next step. Next, just place the pocket piece onto your lining so that the edge which was open over here, you can see the edge that's open is at the bottom side, like it's away from the curved edge, and on the curved edge side you have the closed end. So there's nothing open here. And you need to place it so that the top edge is around 1 inch away from the curved area, as you can see. Shouldn't be less than 1 inch. It's okay if it's more than 1 inch. So just place it like this, and we're gonna sew along the 3 edges only, because we're gonna leave this open and this is gonna be our pocket to insert stuff. So we're only gonna sew along these 3 edges, and as we sew, we're gonna close this thing off. So start sewing from here and go all around, and use a seam allowance of 1/4 of an inch. And when you're starting, make sure to backstitch because you don't want this thing coming off. Now we're going to move to the next step, which is to attach the zipper. So start off by pinning your zipper along the curved edge like this. And you might have to add some snips along the curved area so that your zipper lies flat. So I'm just going to do it like this. Very tiny, around 1/4 of an inch. And there you go. Did you see that magic? How easily the zipper lies flat over here? Now just hold the zipper in place. Now it's time to place the exterior fabric on top, right side down, the pretty side down, because you don't want the pretty side on the inside. So the pretty side goes down like this. And make sure that your zipper pull, this thing is called a zipper pull, is facing up like this. And you place your exterior on top. And just hold the 3 together so your zipper is sandwiched in between the 2 fabrics. So we're just going to sew all along this edge so that the zipper is sandwiched and sewn in between. So go ahead to the sewing machine and do this. And we're going to use 1/4 of an inch seam allowance as mentioned in the pattern. Now if you want, you can change to your zipper foot, but if you do not have a zipper foot, that's totally fine. I'm using this special kind of foot which is called the walking foot, and it makes sewing anything so much easier. It's just amazing. So I definitely highly recommend investing in one of those. So when you have reached the part where the zipper pull is over here, you can just push the zipper pull all the way back so that it doesn't interfere when sewing. And then you can just continue. So this is what you should have by now. When you flip the right side, this is what you should get. Ta-ta-da! Alright, we're going to do the next side the same way. So all you gotta do is
Line your zipper tape along the curved edge. Now take your exterior fabric and place it on top. Make sure this is out of the way so that you don't end up sewing this part. So we're just going to line the raw edge of this one. The zipper pole should be facing up like this, and just hold this in place together, sandwiching the zipper like this. Now we're just going to stitch along this side, along this edge. So this is what you should have by now. So when you turn it around, this is what it's gonna look like. Ta-ta-da! But before you turn it out, one thing you gotta do is snip these curved edges so the curve comes out nicely. Will be the same for the other side. Now turn the right side out, and we're gonna press this area, and we're gonna top stitch it to give a nice professional looking finish. Do the same for the other side. Go ahead and press all over here. And if you're using a nylon coil zipper, which looks like this, like a plastic like finish, make sure you keep your iron away from it because it's just gonna melt. So go ahead and press this whole thing and top stitch. So when you're top stitching, there's some rules you gotta follow. You gotta use a wide stitch length, and you gotta keep your seam allowance real small, like 1/8 of an inch. And then only you can top stitch. So go ahead, change your settings and start top stitching. Okay, so this is what you should have by now. How cute it looks. So now we're gonna add the tab, which comes at the side. So what we're gonna do is fold this whole thing in half like this, matching the short raw edges, and then we're gonna open up the fold, then bring the short edge along the center crease, fold once again. Do the same for the other side, and ta-da! Now we're just gonna slide it in the swivel clip. So here's my teeny tiny, well not so tiny, cute little swivel clip. I'm just gonna slide this whole thing. Oh wait, you gotta first stitch it. So this looks perfect, but before that we gotta stitch those sides so that they don't open up. So just do a top stitch along this edge and along this edge. We're not going to touch the shorter edge because it's going to go in the seam. So just the long edges, okay? Blah, 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 blah. Now just slide your swivel clip inside, fold the whole thing in half, and attach it here. Just sew this thing to one layer of exterior fabric. So we're just going to pick this whole thing up and attach the swivel clip over here. Make sure that you're not holding the whole thing together, just one layer like this. So we're just gonna sew along this edge using 1/4 of an inch of seam allowance. Okay viewers, we have now come to the final step of this tutorial, which is to assemble this whole thing. Of course you can't have a patch like that, you need to hide those seams. So what we're gonna do is first and most important, open up your zipper halfway through or full way through, whatever is good for you, And then just turn everything wrong side out. Ta-da, like this. Turn both sides wrong side out. Now match the exterior with the exterior and the lining with the lining, like this. So align all the edges. It's pretty simple. You gotta align. So this is my exterior facing each other. And lining facing each other. So first let me just pin it and then I'm gonna show you the lining. Okay, so here's my lining facing each other, exterior facing each other, and time to sew everything together. And I'm gonna tell you one more thing that's very important in just a minute. So when you're sewing your lining, you need to leave a gap of about 3 inches so that you can turn the right side out, just like we did while sewing the pocket. If you guys remember, yep, that's exactly what we're gonna do again. We're gonna leave a small gap over here to turn the right side out. Okay, so now I have pinned everything, and make sure that you don't sew this zipper on the side. Make sure it's open up like this. Make sure it's facing down like this, so it's sewn to the exterior this way. And now we're just gonna sew all around. We're gonna start from here, go all the way around, and we're gonna stop here. And then we're gonna sew this part, leaving this whole opening. Ta-da! Okay, switch to the machine. Make sure you backstitch. Because okay, so this is what you should have by now. Now we're just gonna turn the right side out. Oh, before that, very important thing is to snip this whole thing off. So that it turns out with a sharp corner. Alright, now get ready for the reveal. It's gonna take all your willpower to not just rip this whole thing off. Be gentle, girls, be gentle. Keep trying, you're gonna make it, girls. Come on, don't give up. Okay, we have finally made it. Just push everything inside. Go inside the hole and just try to push this whole thing outside. You might have to use your scissors or chopsticks, but be very, very gentle. Don't want to poke a hole and ruin your whole thing. Alright, all done. Almost done. We have one small step left. So first check if your zipper goes all the way perfectly. Yep, it looks perfectly fine. So now the last step is to just pull the lining out and sew it closed, because you don't want holes and your coins falling in the dead hole. So just pull your lining out like this and just top stitch this whole thing so that it's closed. Just top stitch over here along this edge and you'll be good to go, girls. Okay, all done. So my lining is closed now. Make sure yours looks the same. Just push everything inside. Give your pouch a really nice steam press and you would be good to go. Whoop whoop! You did it!